What's up guys, it's Asish from MyBuddies23 and today I will be showing you guys the top tips and tricks for the Samsung Note 9. I did a review on this phone. The link to that will be in the description box. I also did a video about the case. It's a pretty good case. The link will be in the description box down below as well. Without further ado, let's jump right in. The first tip would be, if you have a case like how I do, what would be good is to go into advanced features and turn on touch sensitivity. Touch sensitivity, if you have a screen protector or a case like what I do, it's both the screen protector and a case, it increases the touch sensitivity, for example like keyboards. So with this off, when you're typing, it may miss a few letters that you type, but if you turn the touch sensitivity on, it gets every single letter. It's really useful for when you're trying to type like quick messages and you don't want typos, and that used to happen a lot before I turned on touch sensitivity. For tip number 2 would be to turn on this video enhancer right here. So for example, for these three, video player, Google Play Movies and TV, and YouTube, it'd be good to turn on the video enhancer. So this is how the image will look without the video enhancer, and this is how it'll look with the video enhancer. So it's pretty cool. It can up the resolution. So for tip number 3 would be Smart Alert, which is up here. So what happens is, if you get a text message or a notification and your phone is flat, or it can be up, but if the screen is off, once you pick up your phone, the phone will vibrate, showing that you got a notification, and you can quickly check it. For the next tip, it would be right here, Dual Messenger. Inside Dual Messenger, you can have multiple accounts for apps like Snapchat, Facebook, and Facebook Messenger. You can have multiple accounts on that same app, and you can just toggle between them. This I like to have just in case you have 2 accounts, or like you want to switch through 2 different accounts, or you're managing a friend's account. It'd be really useful. For tip number 3, finger sensor gestures. So what happens is, if you're using your phone with one hand and you don't want to swipe, if you don't want to move all the way up to swipe down for your notifications, you can quickly go to the fingerprint sensor and swipe down. When you swipe down, the notification panel pops up, and if you swipe down one more time, all the other settings pop up, and to push it back up, you just swipe up like that and it goes away. So I like keeping this on so that I can use my phone with just one hand instead of 2, and because this is a big phone, it's meant for bigger hands, so they try to give as much accessibility to use with one hand. The next tip would be in the lock screen settings. If you scroll down, you go to face widgets. Inside face widgets, you can toggle what you want to display on your lock screen. For example, the music controller, which I like to have. Today's schedule, I don't usually put things on my calendar, so I don't need it, but you can toggle that on or off. Next alarm and the weather, those are useful information, so you can just swipe on the lock screen and it shows up. So if I turn it off, it also works on the always on display. So then, okay, I have no music playing right now, but when there is music playing, it'll show the controller here. And then they have the next alarm and the weather in my current city. The next feature I'd like to talk about is multi-window. So if I go into the advanced features, multi-window. So this is really useful for the pop-up view action. So what happens is, you can multitask. So instead of holding this recents button, you can just drag from the top, and this little blue highlight shows up. So this will show how the screen will look. So then you can make it up to like that small, and it'll still be there, and you can still access other things, like for example like Chrome, and then other things. The next feature I'd like to talk about is in the connection setting inside Bluetooth. So first of all, you have to have your Bluetooth turned on in order for this to work. Then you click the the toolbar up here and click advanced and turn on dual audio. It'll ask to turn off media volume sync, but that was always off and you can't change that setting, so sure, I'll turn it off. Now dual audio is a Bluetooth 5 feature. It's not exactly for this phone, but it was there in the Note 8, the S9, and the Note 9. You can connect to two Bluetooth devices and play music or video or audio from both speakers or devices, and it's playing from your phone. The next tip that I'd like to talk about is in the home screen. It's not actually in the settings. So you hold right there and then it pops up this window. You click home screen settings on the bottom right, and here you can change the home screen grid and the app screen grid. So I came from using an S7 to using the Note 9, and some of my widgets like SoundCloud and Gmail, they only work on a 4 tile. So if I use a standard layout, which is 5 by 6, I can't have all of my features. So I changed it to 4 by 5 so that all my music controller, my Gmail, they'll all show up so there won't be any extra space. It's really useful so you can customize how big or how small you want your applications and how many applications you'd like to have on your home screen. The next tip is also in the home screen settings. You can change the home screen layout. So some people that are moving from iPhone or any other devices where they don't have an app store and you cannot customize what you want on the home screen, they prefer having all of their apps on the home screen. So home and app screen, that's the default, but you can also change it to home screen only. Then all of your apps will show up on the home screen. There won't be a separate apps drawer. So this is really useful for people, like as I said, people that came from iPhone or from using different phones that don't have an app drawer. It's really useful and you can see all of your apps without having to like swipe up and go through the apps monitor. But I prefer keeping a home screen and app screen so I can customize my home screen layout to what I want and there won't be too much clutter. The next tip is involving the S Pen. The S Pen is unique to the Note 9. The Note 8 has a different S Pen. It doesn't have a battery. The Note 9 does have a battery. It actually has a super capacitor, which is a faster version of a battery, and it doesn't degrade as much. And it's really useful for like Bluetooth. It has Bluetooth Low Energy, so it's really useful for like taking selfies or pictures. But this feature, I believe, is also on the Note 8. So if you go into the S Pen settings, S Pen Air command, sorry, you can click magnify. Right? If it's not there, then you can change that. You can like click the plus, and it'll show you the settings. It can show you everything that you can change, so you can add magnification. And this is useful if you're watching like ads, like what I'm doing, and you're actually interested in the ad, but there's fine text at the bottom. Then you can change the magnification. Right now it's at 300%. I can change that to 250. I can change that to 150, 200, 250, and 300. I'll keep it at 300 because I want to see all the text. And then I'll play the video right here. You can read everything that it says about it. You can pause the video and magnify right there, and you can read everything that it says in the fine print. This is useful for people that have glasses but don't have them with them and they still want to read something. It's really useful so they can just magnify and see everything that it says. The next tip is also a S Pen tip. Inside the S Pen Air command, there's an option called Glance. So I'm on the home screen, so Glance doesn't work. If I open Chrome, for example, I can click the Air command and tap Glance. Now it pops up. It shows up on the bottom right hand. This is useful for multitasking. So all you have to do to get the full screen window is hover over it with the S Pen, and you can see everything like that's on it. This is useful for copying and pasting if you have like one document and you're trying to copy and paste it into another, but it's a PDF or something that you cannot actually like copy the text. Then you can just like hover over it and then go back to the screen that you're on, like continue typing and then hover over it, see what it is, go back, continue typing. It's really useful for multitasking, and that's what this phone is meant for. So it's a really useful tip. That's basically it for this video. If you like the video, leave a like down below, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Peace.